had some encounters, and then the rest of you went to the solarium while Finale met the tail end of the assistant's bad mood.
He still hasn't found our resonant frequency, which is good.
But we left off with you all kind of catching your breath after having seemingly dispensed with all of the lingering spirits that were in this room here, primarily taken up by the large sort of planetarium-like device in its center. So I think you all were free. You have the floor to do as you will. Although I think Vanali, you were coming out of the envelope of darkness you had summoned on yourself.
Yeah, eventually that does wear off. I hope.
Oh yeah, I think it ended with both me and Conry on the floor too.
Oh yeah, because you were in the shadow and you walked off the bookshelf.
Yep. Second time.
You know, we'll open up Finale with the shadow wearing off on your the magical effect ending.
Well, that saved my life.
Well, I guess that's good. It certainly hurt though.
What happened to you?
Darkness, and then falling.
I told you to step away, not step off a ledge.
There's not a lot of room to see.
That's fair, I guess. My apologies.
Come to the conclusion that a library is no place for a bear.
So, you all good up there, or?
Well, I could use a good sit down.
Well, we're in a library, so. Also, we were fighting ghosts. What were you doing up there? Or, with our host, as it were.
Well, that's what I was talking about when I mentioned those crystals in the corner. They sort of turned into things, and, well, one of them did, and then that one split into copies of itself, and quickly got out of hand.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess take this time to rest up. And however unlikely, look around, you might find like spells, artifacts, random doodads we can take. Like just whatever you can find and we can use, just take it. It's not being used here. And if it is, well, too bad. It's ours now.
This was only minutes ago for Vanali, but the player has forgotten. What was the deal with the observatory? That was also a way that we could possibly get into the hidden room.
Yeah, so the Forbidden Archive at the very base of the Arcanery can only be opened if you have new information to submit to it. One of the methods of obtaining stuff that belongs in the Forbidden Archive is going to the observatory, which can be accessed through the Lunarium, which is above you right now. But last you heard that transporter was sealed.
Well, we could poke around here, try to see what they might have been researching with the observatory. This seems like the kind of place where they might have that information.
Furthermore, if they have like a set of stairs going upwards, we can just take the stairs. For all we knew, it's only the teleporter
That's a possibility.
So if you're looking at the map, the central staircase there ends in nothingness. That's where the lift that you've entered before has dumped you out.
Mhm.
There is a staircase on the top left that leads further down, and a staircase on the top right that leads back up.
Well, I would guess the observatory is closer to the surface than further.
But I heard at least Mish say they wanted to look around in this room, or
Yeah, at least scrounge around whatever we can find. Or at least like
No.
take this time to at least for like a short rest to look around.
I'll join in that.
all right. Do you either one of you can give the other advantage, or you both roll investigation checks?
What's your investigation?
+5.
Mine is load. He's a +3. Yours is better, so I'll just help you.
Okay.
So rolling to help.
Alrighty. So are you looking just for like any items this room might have, or do you want to like try and peruse the information too?
Taking Mish's advice, I'm going to be looking for items or scrolls that might help us survive this.
All right, you do a pass over the numerous desks and little cubbies that you can find here, and it does seem like this space, although probably meant to be a repository for knowledge, did have plenty of seating areas and places for people to work. This was probably in its heyday a well habitated room of the Arcanery here. Most of the information is that you'll see written about in like open books and sheafs of parchment and the like is in Old Tethian, although some of it is in languages that you.
Hi, sorry, I'm here. I'm having a little bit of difficulty. My power just went out for a second, and I'm trying to get my computer to stop freezing up. So just,
Well, you're all right. I'm sorry that you're having issues.
it's like right when we hit 9, it's like, I'm gonna fuck up your night. Give me 1 minute to try and fix whatever it is that's being a pain in my ass.
No rush. We're not doing anything terribly exciting right this moment, so take your time.
Yeah, I think a short rest was being had. Is that right?
Yes.
That's definitely the plan for me.
All right. Yeah. So this is a bit of downtime. We're just exploring the room that we were in.
Alright.
Yeah. You'll notice Venali and Mish as well that a lot of things here seem to have been left in a hurry. Books were left out on desks. Writing implements seem to have just been put down and left where they were. You see hand-taken notes in Tethian and Elvish and in a language that you do not recognize, Venali. You will find, all told, about 7 gold in old Tethian mint. You will also find, but you'll recognize these as Tethian implements, Venali, but 2 cigar-sized canisters of bronze and copper metal tucked away underneath one of the desks in like a drawer.
And what did you say they were? Or what I
They're
recognize them as anyway?
they're Magitech of some variety, but you're not entirely sure exactly what they do.
Gotcha.
Can Mish like roll anything that could help discern that?
You can make a history check. So this is Tethian Magitech, which is definitely predates a lot of what Defiance's modern constructions are. You recognize the constituent parts, the metallic casing, that each of them on one of their butt ends has some sort of gemstone inset.
Mhm.
One of them is a diamond. The other one is a shard of obsidian looking material that has kind of a purplish tint to it.
Mhm. And it's a canister.
Yeah,
Some kind?
they're like I said like a cigar sized little baton, perfectly cylindrical.
You said has a diamond and obsidian piece on it.
One of them has a diamond capstone. The other one has an obsidian. There's two of them. The casings of them are like a mixture of bronze and copper, like Da Vinci-ish, like clockwork mechanisms and the like.
Mhm. Okay. And Mish is just like, is there anything that she can like twist, or is it like a button that she can depress?
Yes, they're very operable. It kind of has like puzzle box things going with it.
Okay. She's gonna put the obsidian one away in her bag, and like she's gonna fiddle around with the diamond one, and if there's a button, she's going to look at analysis. You might want to take a step back. I
Do you need
don't
a
know
hand
what the
trying to figure it out?
Yeah, so I'm gonna try and figure it out. And there's a button here, so I'll the off chance this is explosive, you know.
Okay, if you're gonna tinker with it, just make me a straight intelligence roll, Mish.
I'll pat Mish on the head and cast guidance.
Give Mish a good scratch behind the ears.
And then what is guidance? Plus what?
1d4, though that was a saving throw you just made.
Oh, whoops. God damn it.
See, are you proficient in saves?
Yeah, I have an proficient in intelligence saving throw.
Okay, so that should be like a 19 at the original roll.
Yeah.
Right, and roll the d4. Oh, really not bad. And that did make a difference. So it's less of a button and more of a series of little claws, contraptions you have to move apart, and switches you have to depress and the like. But as you're fiddling with it, there comes a point where you hit some sort of combination of keys well enough that the different constituent parts of the cylinder break apart for a split second and they just open all around your hands. And let me read here. In a 30-foot cone in front of you, the direction you're fucking with it, just you need to decide for me, push or pull.
She's gonna push it.
So all of the objects that are unsecured, the books on the shelves, the things that are on the desks, the chair itself, and some of the lighter desks, are pushed to the end of a 30-foot cone and just smash on the wall opposite to that. Some of them shatter, it just becomes a crumpled mess. And there's just a loud, like, ringing thud sound that everyone in the solarium hears as you just look down as the canister reforms and goes inert back in your hands.
Really glad I was sitting up somewhere.
Okay, so this is either a extreme version of force push or force vacuum. Actually, no. The other one's probably a vacuum one. Like, look to me.
Force suck.
And do both of them have a? So she's gonna pull out the obsidian one and like examine. Do they both have similar mechanisms?
They are different constructions. Each one is a unique puzzle box, but they can both be operated.
Okay.
So
So in other words, by solving one, she solved the other.
no, 'cause they're different puzzles.
Oh.
So you have solved the diamond one. So from now, for the foreseeable future, you can use the you can write it down in your inventory or whatever. You have a cylinder of pulse wave.
SUAVE. Of pull what?
Pulse wave. PULSE. Pulse wave.
Okay.
These cylinders can be used by anyone, but they need to have they need to be solved before you can use them with an intelligence check. Because you've already solved it, Mish, you can help other people, and so it will be a much lower DC.
Okay. And Mish just looks up for now. Is like, huh. This is. Well, this will be good at getting things off of us.
Certainly.
Yeah. Now what does this one do? And she puts the cylinder pulse wave away. And in a position where nothing can push that button. And she looks over at the obsidian capped one. Same intelligence check?
You're gonna try and solve that one as well.
Yeah, like while we're here and there's no pressure.
Yeah, go for
I'll
it.
do guidance again.
Okay, I don't think this will matter either way. God damn it.
Yeah, you are aware of the parts that make these puzzles up, but you go in expecting this one be the exact same, and it is completely not. And after a few minutes of fiddling with it, you grow frustrated.
We'll put this one. We'll work with this one later. And she'll just put it away and help Finale look around more.
Were you able to get in and set up, Juju?
Yep. I am here officially.
Well, what are Conry and Midi and Cal up to?
I want to see if I can get this thing to move. Conry wants to see if he can move the planets.
Okay, you just want to get up and like push on one of the beams.
Yeah, it's like a giant toy. He wants to play with it.
That seems like a noble enough goal. Midi will offer his services to make the thing go move.
Knowing Conry, he'd probably try to jump on one and see if he can swing around with it. But yeah, he's just gonna push one.
What you guys will find is that each metal spoke of this planetarium seems to be on its own co-radial ring, so that they can each spin independently around the center axis. So you begin to turn one Conry and Midi, you can push on a different one, and you'll get them to start spinning around the room.
Push them in the opposite direction, see if you can make them crash into each other.
They are offset enough to where they, by design, shouldn't hit anything below in the room and shouldn't hit each other. But I mean, players.
What if Conry stands on one and tries to grab another one when he passes?
Okay, so you want to break it.
Yes. No, I don't want to break.
Come in.
It just
Would Mission Finale hear this?
I mean, you can look up and you see the spokes with these planets on the end start to spin around the room.
Somebody's got the zoomies.
I didn't know.
Wish will
what
just like
that
poke
was.
Finale. Did anyone hit a switch or something?
Well, aside from you when you sent that wave of energy out.
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like you can hear the rest of your party clowning around up there.
Hey, it is a short rest for clowns.
Honk, honk.
You found anything interesting?
No.
Not yet, I'm afraid.
Try not to break anything.
No promises.
Remember, this is going to be our place.
Our place? What are we living here now?
Well, I mean, once we're done with our investigation, we are claiming it. So you know.
Well,
We
that
are?
was Middy's idea anyway.
If that's true, then don't break the planets. I think they're cool.
Actually, no. Wasn't Mitty's plan that Connery would claim this?
Yep.
Yeah, this is gonna be your new house, so don't break anything.
If this is my house, I can do what I want.
Well, fine. Don't break anything while, you know, the angry ghost thing is still here.
I don't see any angry ghosts around right now.
What exactly is it you're trying to do?
Who?
You or Middy? I'm not sure
Mitty.
which of you is trying to do something right now.
I want Mitty to push that one as hard as he can. While Conry's sitting on it.
Alright. I'm gonna push Connery on a swing.
Oh God.
Make me an athletics check.
Which one?
The
Me.
one doing the pushing.
Should Connery try and hold on as tight as he can?
No, because while these move, they're not necessarily like designed to move quickly. So you're not like
We're not
being
flying.
pushed. You're not being pushed down like a hallway in an office chair. You know what I mean?
Damn.
It's more of a gradual thing. But the fact that you have the raw power of MIDI behind the shove, you do. You know, I mean, it sends you like halfway around the room, but it's more of like a leaning arc than a quick thing.
Still fun. I enjoyed it. While he's spinning around in this leisurely circle, does he see anything that might draw his eye? From so high up, he must have some kind of vantage point.
Sure, make a perception check for me. As you're swiveling around up there, it's as you pass the northeastern part of the map here, the one that goes up, the staircase that leads higher up into the building. You'll notice that there is a thick layer of looks like a white sawdust almost all over the seams of that door and on the immediate stairs leading up to it. And yeah, that's what you'll see. You'll see that it seems to be like very disused, as if it does not ever open.
Connor's gonna leap off on his ride over and go inspect the dust.
It looks akin to some of the material you guys saw out in the Foglands, a kind of dry, ashy snow.
Does the door budge at all if Connor tries opening it?
you try and push on the door, and it starts to budge, and then suddenly stops, and you hear a clinking of chains on the other side.
Huh. That's interesting. How'd they get the chains on the other side of the door?
Probably by being on the other side of the door.
But why would they chain it closed? You would think putting chains on that side of the door would be to try and prevent people from getting into this room, right?
Do they seem like thick chains? Perhaps we could cut them through the gap.
Are they thick chains? Can Connery see at all?
You try and squint through, and the best you can make out, they're not especially thick, but you recognize the veins of gold that run through them.
Oh, they're like the ones that were on the front of the temple.
Correct.
Wait, then how did they get in here? I think Mish might want to take a look at these. Does that mean I can set them on fire?
Don't. Do not set anything on fire, please.
Well, that got the chains to fall off the door.
Worked last time, where wouldn't it work again?
Yeah, just as a reminder to what happened last week, you guys did kind of sequence break the temple a bit.
A bit.
Maybe we shouldn't try forcing our way through a different door.
It's fine. Speedrunning the temple, obviously.
So
In
you're in
Legends of the Hidden Temple, but we've jumped all the way to the last.
you are in the Solarium currently, which is the B2 floor of the Arcanery. So if there are chains on the other side of a door that goes up, that means someone, that was in above you would have chained the door shut. That would have gone deeper into
So
the
we
Arcanery.
were supposed to unlock those to get into this room, is what you're saying.
If you had come through the front door, you would have had to have broken the chains to get into the room you are currently in.
Okay. And that means that the people who put the locks on there were trying to keep something down here. Probably those freaky ass ghosts that attacked us.
Probably.
Ow. Ow.
You okay?
Yeah.
So, are you gonna call Mish over for that, or?
I think he's gonna leave it. They don't want to get up anyway. They want to get down. Go over here and clamber up the bookshelves to get on top again.
Right. Well, was there anything else you guys wanted to do, or are we just going to take your short rest?
Is there anything else to find?
That's a leading question.
No, like, while they're doing that, I'm assuming Mish and Vanelli are just looking around still. Like, is there anything else to find in here?
Well,
Like, on this floor, I mean.
you trashed part of the room.
Oh.
But looking around at what else you can find, like I said, a lot of the desks seem to have been occupied and very abruptly abandoned. There are some materials left that people were reading or working on. I mean, the whole room is full of records and books and scrolls of various nature that you haven't really looked through.
Well, I need to sit down and rest, but if you see anything that seems interesting relating to their studies of the stars, let me know.
Will do.
Okay, so you guys go ahead and take a short rest. You can spend your hit die to heal if you need to. Conra, you get your key points back.
I don't know if I used them. How do you do that one?
How do you do what?
The hit die. Oh, is that this one? Ah!
Yeah. So if you spend a hit die, you should mark off that you've used it, and you heal for the amount that it rolled.
Oh, perfect. That puts me back at full health.
So while you guys are resting, you want to go look at the different books and stuff, Mish?
Yep.
Is anyone else doing anything, or just planting your butts?
MIDI plant.
Midi plant.
I will come plant next to Mitty.
Okay. Oh, that's a cute emote.
I sit.
Oh, that's cute.
That's what MIDI would look like if he was a monk.
Okay, you do a brief scan while you're taking a breather here, Mish, of some of the different materials around sort of the central spire bookshelf here.
Mm-hmm.
There's more tomes than you could probably get through in a month of reading. It seems that, well, if anything you've seen since coming to the Arcanery, it seems that the Tethians were capable of generating quite a prodigious amount of written records and materials.
Mm-hmm.
Most of what's in here seems to be observational or commentary-based studies of the different things in the heavens that the Tethians were able to identify by virtue of the observatory that was built here. You see descriptions and analyses of not only just the different planets, but you see what we as the players recognize as some of the beginnings of like astronomy, what stars are, what asteroids are, that kind of thing. This is a pretty exhaustive collection of the Tethians' seeming forays into understanding what lies out, beyond, outside the boundaries of the planet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Nothing particularly useful, but at least we know it's here. Well, is there anything regarding astronomy or anything regarding Azer's request? Does she find anything like that?
Just roll a d20 for me.
Okie doke.
What were you specifically asking for, Finale?
Anything pertaining to their studies of the stars that seemed interesting.
So you'll find, Mish,
Mm-hmm.
you find one scroll that seems to be a record of what the Tethians. Well, no, you don't read Tethian, do you?
I read Old Tethian.
Yeah, okay, you do. Okay, so you'll find one scroll that is a record of what the Tethians called migratory comets. These stars that became closer or further from Lys, depending on time of year. And studies that whoever wrote this document did, correlating the times when they were closer to periods of misfortune on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
You find a separate record that seems to be a testament to a very far away planet, not one of the four major stars, but a different exoplanet to our terms in the solar system that, according to this document, was entirely covered in water, and it's just the musings of what a star entirely comprised of an ocean would be like. And the last thing you'll find is, and it sticks out to you because it's more of like more of a post-it note than it is a proper document. But you find just a little fraction of a piece of parchment that is signed from antecedent Boris, that no sign of the old country in the stars.
I think we found the name of the. Did we know the name of the previous antecedent?
You did not.
Though I think we may have found the name. And without making much of a noise, she'll just like walk over to the group and show it to Vinali. Hey, I think I found something.
Oh, what's this?
I think we may have found the name of our missing antecedent.
Interesting.
And like she'll describe what's on it. That it's specifically in Old Tethian, so this might help you. And that we have a name, so maybe because this counts as missing information, seeing as apparently everyone forgot their name, this could get us in.
Well, they were specifically looking for research information. I don't think the name of one of their employees would suffice.
Well, given that said employee owns this place, and this is his musings. I mean, don't you know? Do you know of any way of restoring it? Like,
Restoring what?
Because if you can tell, this is a bit waterlogged, so some of the research is kind of messy, but I think, wasn't it like a spell that can do that?
None that I'm aware of. There's magics that can restore damaged things to their original shape, but none that would fill in the missing writing.
Well, does water damage count?
No, it's more physical damage, like
That
tears, cuts, burns, things like that.
ah. But I mean, here, have a read through. I mean, I only skimmed through it, considering you wanted to know more about like their astrological research. So you might get more out of it than me.
So what's this old country?
That's what I want to know. I mean, unless they're referring to the countries. Wait, you think there was a country on this continent before? Like, can you pull up the map real quick?
Yeah.
So, do you actually think that? Well, no, these are called the ruins of Tethys. Maybe there was, a country here before it got ruined. Maybe that's what it's referring to, the old country.
No, this research, out of character, this research would have been done by the people who lived in Tethys before there were ruins of Tethys.
Correct, yeah.
Oh, my bad. And then which Mitchell just like shrug like, I don't know, I never paid attention in history. I fell asleep for the most part.
Also out of character. Correct me if I'm wrong, but nobody has ever sailed past the Amber Glide and the Amber Still.
There have been exploratory voyages, and some people come back, but no one has been able to definitively say what's beyond.
come back a little fishier.
Yeah. It's possible there's a missing continent to the south, though that's still peculiar that they would know of its existence at all, but not how to find it.
Survivors, descendants, word of mouth.
Why they'd be looking for it in the stars? I thought the destruction of Tethys was a remarkable feat of magic, but to move an entire country into the outer planes like that.
I mean, there is divinity that walks among us, so you never know. Maybe it was a mark of the other gods or something.
I will say this is particularly for your backstory, Azur. There's a bit of information I should give you here.
Okay.
Not to the south, but it's fairly decently established in some of the more academic histories that there is a land somewhere to the west, or to the west of the continent of Alea, because that is where the elves came from in prehistory. The elvish race exodused from that western continent to Alea. Sort of the thesis or major portion of your parents' research into Tethys was that they were essentially working on a hypothesis that despite the presence of the sky walls, somehow, some way, Tethys had a communication with people on the western continent. That's sort of what they're trying to prove through their archaeology.
Well, it's possible they mean the elven homeland, but there's been no proof of its existence either, and why they would think that that's out in the stars is equally troubling.
Unless they mean to suggest that something from beyond the stars caused that ruin.
Though from what little we know of the elvish ancestors from far beyond Cinnabre, it's entirely possible that they moved their own home to the stars.
And you think this place is a way of trying to contact them?
Or locate them at the very least.
So you think we might have to find another room?
I have the sneaking suspicion that if we were to get into the observatory, it would take us probably centuries of work to locate it. Which is not exactly feasible as long as the mist is still around.
Actually, out of character, like if this is like common information or not, you can say yes or no to this, Ren. But is there like any rumors or thoughts that the mist that causes that forgetfulness is a result of the ruination of Tethys? Or a byproduct?
That's not speculation. That is known.
Oh, okay.
It's not the calamity. The Dreaming Queen willed the mist into existence to protect the ruins of Tethys from people that are doing exactly what you guys are doing.
Oh.
The god queen of Lucendil wants what happened to Tethys to remain secret, so she buried this entire region in mist to prevent people from finding out.
Oh.
You know, like innocent people do.
Yeah. I swear to God, if it's an Aphrodite-like thing where she just got pissed that nobody wanted to mingle with her. Ugh. So she decided to say, F it, blow the place up. But, anyways, well, That also makes the question, so then why did the Order of Agiates want people coming here? Granted, he said, what I was told was this place was due for a cleansing, which, and yes, it is. But I highly doubt just exorcising the spirits will, you know, handle the overarching problem. It's just a surface solution.
Well,
What do you think?
perhaps the surface solution is all you have available at the moment. Slap a band-aid over the wound until you have a means of acquiring some gauze.
Hmm.
Well, so you guys have taken your short rest, so what is your next step?
Well, there are stairs up. We could head up that way and see if we can find out what's going on with those chains.
Yeah, I believe you were given a directory, so you would remember the floor beneath you, which you have not been to, is Arcanobiology, and the floor above you is the Lunarium. Of which the Lunarium was said to be where the entrance to the observatory was.
Have the sneaking suspicion that if we head down to, well, I imagine there's probably going to be trouble at every floor at this point, but Arcanobiology sounds like the kind of place where we'd be in for a particularly nasty fight, so I wouldn't recommend going there unless we desperately need something. It sounds like the kind of work that leads people to try to create dragons.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing. Just gonna put that out there.
So were y'all gonna try and head up?
That's fine by me. It means I get to set something on fire again.
Onwards and upwards.
Yep.
Alrighty. So you guys gather around the door that Connery had previously scoped out. You all can see the accumulation of ash that seems to have blown in from the door, but has not been pushed away by it being opened. You can force it just a crack to be to where you can see the chains on the other side, but it is like you can stick the flat side of a sword through it and not much more.
I have a sword.
Does it light on fire?
Not currently, but we do also have the napalm things, don't we?
We do. Is it the jelly?
Yeah, fire jelly poppers.
The fire jelly poppers.
So we load them into the door and then slam it shut.
Yes.
Would you like to do so?
Yes.
How many are you going to load into the crack?
Should we just start with one and go from there?
Yeah, stick it in closest to the chain as you can.
I will do that.
So you guys watch as Cal produces the little, how big would I say they are? Like kind of pecan-sized little ceramic ball. He'll put it in as like a gray color. Puts it in the crack of the door and with a definitive snapping sound shuts it hard enough that you see the ceramic splinter and a bit of hot sauce colored like jelly just seem to like explode into the seam of the door there.
Uh,
Does it taste like hot sauce?
Would you like to taste some?
Sounds
Did it
like a
work?
terrible idea.
Connor having been held back from licking the weird fluids.
Monka TOS.
But you're gonna try and light it, Connor.
Yep.
Okay, you don't have to roll to hit, but roll me the fire damage from your draconic strike.
Do I just hit?
Yeah, well, good thing you didn't have to hit.
Jesus.
Min rolled on both.
Okay, so once again, Connery strikes the door with his flaming fist. Where it contacts with this brightly, like almost neon orangey colored jelly, that jelly immediately seems to like shrink in on itself, and it goes almost yellow before there's a very pronounced backdraft explosion as the entire door just catches on fire. It's like a wood to inferno and like, you know, a blink and you'll miss it kind of a fire starter.
That is why I backed up.
Connery, you are going to take 5 points of fire damage.
Oh, thank God I rolled. Got some of that health back.
Connor has
Very,
run out of eyebrows
very
at this
glad
point.
we showed the restraint of not loading it up with all of them.
That just means we can use it again later on.
That means we can we can load them all up in the next one.
Why would we waste them on one giant explosion when we could have the fun of multiple small explosions?
Because bigger is better.
Yeah, you guys sit there and watch the door burn solidly for a few minutes, and it doesn't seem to be abating.
Well, at this point, Mitchell just turned to Vinali. Okay, why did we let him have fire powers again?
That wasn't your choice.
It's a valid point. It's not our choice to let him have fire powers.
At length, maybe with you guys helping to put it out, or maybe you just sit there and watch it fireplace style until it dies down. But
Some
What-
people just want to watch the world burn.
Those people are named Connor.
at length, you are
Mash it,
left with
Connery.
a handsome set of very, very charred wooden double doors that are black and given way to sort of that charcoal-like dust.
If we poke it, will they disintegrate? Connor's gonna poke him.
It's not quite disintegrate level of ashes, but like it's a lot weaker now. You could like smash it into pieces if you wanted.
Does Mitty want to smash him into pieces so he can join in the fun?
Mitty definitely wants to smash into
Come on over and smash him to pieces, buddy.
pieces. Giant bear paw to charred door.
Okay, so you just like Kool-Aid man through it.
Oh yeah. Hey Mitty. Oh yeah.
So you smash through, You get plenty of ash and charcoal on your fur.
I'm gonna do the first shake to get it all.
But you guys step up into the Lunarium.
Is it lit up like this? Like is it glowing?
Correct. As you guys enter the Lunarium, you'll find a sort of smooth, glassy marble floor that looks like all one piece. The ceiling above you is stars. It is a replication of the night sky at some indeterminable point of time, and the reflections of all of the luminescent objects in this room cast back down on the glassy floor to create this infinity complex going on.
Hot.
You see there are 12 individual bookshelves with their luminescent book bindings. There is a center sort of ring with these different graphs in it, and there is once again a set of stairs here that leads into nothing, where you imagine the lift would dump you out. And in the center here is what some of you will maybe recognize, the more magically inclined, as an arcane teleportation circle, but it appears to be inert.
Like, I guess Mitch will be the first one to step up and to approach. Can we see, like, the Roman numerals, or is it only on the top of the shelves?
I'd say they'd also be on like the sides of them, so yeah, you could see it.
And then she'd actually walk into and see. I'm assuming these are astrological signs?
You're not certain what signs they would be.
Hey, Manali, take a look at these.
I'll start making my way down as well.
Do the stairs in the middle go up or down?
They go up like a half turn like that, and then just end into nothingness.
Huh.
Do Lycans have a like a moon thing would Mitty know that?
Oh, are you expecting Connery to start howling at the moon?
I don't know what I'm expecting.
So they don't, and I think that this is where I should, if you guys will permit me, I might world build just a second to explain something.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Lys does not have a proper moon the way Earth does. Not anymore. It used to. The old elves, the Zoan tribes, and the dwarves have really old historical records of there being a moon in the sky, but sometime predating Tethys, it vanished. There are what in universe are called the four proximal stars, the four lords, that kind of thing, that are I think it's Venus in our solar system that's like a red star you can see in the night sky, right?
Yeah, that's Venus.
Yeah, there are four planets that are even closer than that and more reflective than that do give the night sky even more illumination than just the stars. And they are colored. There's a red, blue, green, and white one. And different parts of the year and different extreme locations, you can have celestial events where like the night sky will have a red tint to it if you're underneath the ascendancy of the Red Lord Star. But there is no moon. The planet of Lys has no visible satellites. So the Lunarium existence here and what you have been told about the observatory's capabilities, they seem to have been studying the moon that used to exist in Lys.
To the moon!
So there was a moon until there wasn't.
We should bring back the moon.
You have to go through an entire arc about 2 deities before you can get to that expansion.
Oh no, whose girlfriend is gonna get turned into a moon now?
That's rough, buddy.
Rip Sokka.
Yeah, so what would you guys like to do?
Mish would like to investigate the magic circle.
Okay,
Like,
so
you say it's inactive, correct?
yeah, so the magic circle is this sort of stone thing in the center here, and it seems to have been carved with glyphs and the like, but they're notably the thing in this room that is not illuminated. But as you step there, there will be something that happens. As you step onto one of these circular star signs, you step there. Immediately, all of the bookshelves in this ring around you rotate counterclockwise one step, such that 12 is where 11 is now.
Does this glow or light up or anything?
It does not seem to react.
Experimenting, I will step on this one.
Okay,
No!
as
Sorry.
you step on that one, they move counterclockwise 5 more steps, such that 12 is where 6 is now.
Connery's gonna run down here and step on this one.
Alright, that would be...
12 is now where 6 is.
Well, before Connery moved.
Yeah,
So assuming you're all staying there, as
Yeah.
Connery steps on that, it will move clockwise 4 times, so 12 will be where 10 is now.
Okay, so the light blue ones move them counterclockwise, the dark blue one moves them clockwise. Okay.
And I will say, as the third one is stepped upon, the outermost ring of the center teleportation circle does start to glow.
Ooh. Do any of the books on any of these shelves look any different?
They haven't reacted to your actions, but they all are glowing books.
I'm going to step off of mine to see if the teleportation circle's outer ring stays lit or not when I do so.
Yeah, so as you step off, the ring turns off, and it moves, what was that? 5 spaces clockwise again, which will put 12 will be at 3, if my math is right. Yeah, 12 will be where 3 is now.
Do these lines move?
They do not.
Okay. 'Cause I thought, like, part of me thought we'd have to connect these lines to these lines, and that would be oof.
Minnie, come step on one of these.
Uh,
Do it.
was someone standing on the bear one? The bear claw?
Yeah,
I
Bobby.
was, but I stepped off of it.
Oh,
And
okay.
Mitchell step off of hers.
Maybe we'll stand on the metal.
Okay, with that,
Making Rin do math.
12 will be where 10 is. It has made almost an entire clockwise rotation.
I'm
Yeah.
going to step onto this one to see if completing a circle will get it to do something.
So a full clockwise rotation has been made. As the third button is depressed, the outer ring begins to glow. But then there is the sound of metal grating on metal. All 3 of you are pushed off of your spots. The bookshelves reset, and everyone that was pushed off takes 1 force damage.
Ouchies.
Okay, so there's a specific way we have to do this. Is there anything, like, Mish is looking at these symbols, is there anything that Mish would, ascertain or, like, would have been taught that represents Agioteus?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay.
No, nothing about lunar iconography or celestial bodies pertains to Agioteus' portfolio.
Okay.
I'd wager if these symbols relate to any of the deities, they'd be deities that are mostly long forgotten by now.
Also, I just noticed it, but do we see these outlines?
That you do. So as the light from the bookshelves reflects up at the ceiling, it's cast back down to the glassy floor.
Oh, okay.
Well, we know it doesn't want us to complete a full circle. Oh, did the outer ring stay lit when we were forced off, or did it go dark again?
It stayed lit until you left, and then it went dark again.
Okay, so not part of the solution then. So we know it can't complete a full circle. So that's part of the rules.
Or maybe
What
just
does it
make
actually
a full
want us to
circle.
do without completing a circle?
Well, maybe one of the books around here has a clue or something.
Yes, I was beginning to think the same thing. Perhaps puzzling over it ourselves would be a bit of a waste of time when we could try to find the answer in the books.
Right. But the question is, like, how long will that take?
Probably faster than trying to figure it out ourselves.
Well, not to mention, like, that sound might attract unwanted attention, you know?
Conry's gonna climb up to the top of the platform and see if there's anything on it, any kind of symbols or anything that might stand out as being significant. Because you said there were glyphs on it, right?
Right. You're not proficient with arcane language, so you're not sure that you'd make out most of the runes used in the actual teleportation uh, spell here. But make me just a straight intelligence check.
Oh, we have to see how smart he is. Okay. This one.
They all look like moon runes to you.
I mean, yes.
Literally.
So far, this tracks with
This
everything
is
we know
revenge
about
for
him.
last session. This is revenge for all the good rolls I had last session.
So, did some of you said you wanted to start looking at the bookcases?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't we do a group investigation check for me?
Okay.
Flip. That's not good.
No, I did good.
Investigation.
Wow, that took several seconds to populate.
Is Roll20 lagging?
Yeah, did it? My. Meh. Did it show up on your end?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Okay, so a couple bad ones, but overall it was a group success. You'll find, as I alluded to here, less less material than in the solarium below, but nonetheless some observations that the Tethian researchers here had made about the moon that no longer hangs in the sky. Within, you'll find one of you will obtain a reference chart where these symbols on the center circle here appear to be signs the Tethians themselves came up with as a shorthand to signify the 12 different lunar cycles that the moon went through. So, for instance, the instrument here refers to the first phase of the moon, and so on and so forth, mirroring around the circle. It will say that basically over the course of the year, uh, the moon would go through these 12 phases, roughly corresponding to the 12 months before the new year would start, and 12 would give way back to 1.
Are they like in order to what's on the chart?
Yes, they appear to be.
There.
Is there? Do they give a time of when the runes were created, like an order of creation?
Nothing specifically granular. It does give a time. I'll say somewhere within 900 to 1,000 years since the Empire's founding was when this system was developed, but they all seem to have been developed around the same time as each other.
Just to see what happens, I'm going to start from the top here and just start walking around.
Okay. As you move, the outer ring. And so, some of you looking at the bookcases will have to get
Duck or dodge.
you, you move forward or back because the cases will start to spin. They react as you move accordingly from space to space. As you surmised, the darker blue move clockwise, the lighter blue move counterclockwise. It goes 1 clockwise, 1 counter, 2 clockwise, 2 counter, and so on and so forth around the ring. As you move, even after the third space or however many, the center ring will never light up.
Is there a reason that the arch is on the 11th bookcase or faced in a different direction than?
Is there a reason that what?
Oh, good observation.
Like the 3-line arches on under the moons, the one on number 11 is facing in an opposite direction than all the rest of them.
There could
Or is
be
that-
if the DM had caught that, because that's a really interesting thing. And if I ever have cause in a future life to use this map again, I will use that. But
Alright, keep that in your back pocket.
Makes me wonder what the artist had in mind when they did that.
But you guys seem like you have a pretty good idea now of how this contraption works. It just appears that you're missing some sort of password or code or something for how you're supposed to solve it.
You said there were 12 phases of the moon?
Correct, yeah. Corresponding to the number of bookshelves.
And there's 13 symbols here, though, so something doesn't add up.
Wait, what?
No, there's 12.
Yeah, there's 12 symbols.
Oh, yeah, never mind, I'm an idiot.
Had to count that twice.
I was confused because I feel like the top one is 0 or it's 6. I'm not sure. What happens if I step on the top one? Yeah.
Yeah, if you stand on this one, it moves 6 spaces counterclockwise.
Gotcha. Okay. So that is not a zeroing position.
Hmm. Well,
Make me a perception check, by the way, Mish. Okay. Carry on. Never mind. With that low roll.
so the first time that we made the thing glow, we had stepped on things in regular order, I think. First was finale, I think, was here.
Yeah, Mish had stepped there. I stepped here.
Oh, okay, and then Conry was down here,
Yeah.
and that's when it started to glow, and it seemed fine until the last one. So we can assume that those 3, at least for the time being, are the start of whatever code it is.
Well, when I was just walking a circle around it, I had gotten some of them to light up as well, so I'm not sure if that's if we stumbled onto something or it just involves the number of buttons that have been pressed down or something.
Did it kick us out when we did a full rotation, or did it kick us out at our button?
Full rotation.
But that was also 4 buttons. So which
True.
one was it that fucked it up?
Did anything we read assign like phases to the symbols?
How so do you mean?
Like, if there's 12 phases of the moon and there's 12 of these, do they like create a symbol for each phase?
Yeah, correct. That's what these runes in the center are supposed to signify.
Yeah. Do they like is it laid out the same way as the phases? Like, are the if we were to start with the symbol that represents the beginning of the phase system, and then went around clockwise, would it match up with how the phases go?
It would if where the 12 bookshelf is right now was with the bow and arrow, because the bow and arrow is the start of the system.
Okay.
Do we need to get the 12 down to the bow and arrow?
That could be it.
Well, I can get started on that. I'll step back here to rotate it 6 around.
Okay. You move it around. The 12 bookshelf is where the bow and arrow is now. The center ring is not glowing.
Question for DM.
Yes.
Is Detect Magic a spell or is it an ability?
Detect magic is a spell.
Okay.
What's your intent?
No, because, like, if she was, like, magically sensitive, like, because the way how I interpret Detect Magic is, like, you're looking at it at, like, a source of magic, and if there's, like, could you connect a wire to it? Like, you're seeing where there's, like, a broken connection, and if you could, from that, could you fix it from there? So, like, the way, so she would, the intent is like detect magic, like it would pulse if she sees it. If the room itself is magical from what I'm understanding, but there's a broken connection somewhere, which prevents it from flowing, which prevents it from turning on the teleporter or whatever. Would she be able to see that?
Probably not that specifically. No, that I would rule detect magic would definitely give you some idea of what type of magic was used to enchant this particular puzzle, but it doesn't give you like X-ray vision into its mechanisms. No.
Okay.
No. Is the button or the symbol that Vinali's standing on right now glowing?
It is glowing because he's standing in it. Yes.
And then it stops glowing when he gets off it, right?
Correct. And then when he gets off it, the bookshelves rotate back.
Okay. Okay. Hmm.
These symbols we did determine, just to refresh my memory, because I believe it was already asked, but they are in order. We just figured out that the starting point was not where we thought it should be.
Yeah, it seems that you're correct. It just seems like the inner circle is turned 180 degrees from the outer circle.
When I walked my circle around this, was there any one button that did get it to light up? The outer ring first?
The outer ring of the teleportation circle has only glown when you have 3 or more buttons depressed.
Okay.
So maybe we gotta get it to that south position with 3 buttons, 3 or more buttons.
It shouldn't be too difficult.
So it needs to go 6, right?
Yes.
So if there's a button that does 1 forward and 1 back, and then we stand on the 6 as well, I should do it.
No, that math checks out.
It's also stand on the 3, 2, and 1 buttons.
Well, let's try it and find out. We might need 4, but let's see if 3 works. I'll step back on the 6.
And then is the hand or the bow the ones?
This is 1. This is counterclockwise 1.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, as you guys step onto those 3, the bookshelves rotate accordingly to where they're in first. The center light glows. You hear that scraping of metal once more, and almost brace yourselves for the pain of being forced off. And then the teleporter in the center lights up.
Hey, we did it!
Can we get off of these, or will it go back to being not working?
Well, there's no harm in finding out.
You step off, and everything remains locked in place and lit.
Yes!
Oh.
You wait. 5, 6. Everything resets and the portal goes off.
Oh shit.
So the moment we have it up, we have 6 seconds to just pile on.
Well, does
I'd
everyone
recommend
get on preemptively?
slower people in the party stand on it already.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Before we go, we might want to search in here, because we did find that thing, which gave us some insight to what they were doing here. But we might find another clue.
We'll take another quick hunt through the shelves just to be safe.
Might as well. And for all we know, we might find out what a Heritor is, and why you have that title.
I don't think that this place is gonna have that.
Well, I would figure that would be in the dragon room, considering that it seems to be involving the ability to sing the dragon.
And hey, you never know. You might find information in the weirdest of places.
I'm just going to poke around and see if anything seems out of place.
Okay. Make a perception check for me, Vinali.
Not bad for me.
Okay. So you will notice nothing strikes you as particularly out of place, except as you do another quick pass of the room, you'll begin to see that there are a few obvious missing books from every single shelf.
There might be a secondary puzzle here.
And then as for your people looking around and exploring things, like I said, you'll see records of sort of recreating what the moon was like, what its effect on the world could have been, what's changed since it's disappeared, things like that. You do see, I'll say, Cal. You find interesting to you, Treaty, on how certain nocturnal monsters seem to have only really become seen by civilization post the moon disappearing.
Okay.
We need to bring back the moon.
But just it's information like that as far as what is contained within these shelves, and these are like half-size single shelf bookcases. So there's not like a ton of information in this room.
So it seems as though each one of these bookshelves has at least one or two books missing, it seems like.
Missing or out of place? Because
They were
if
missing,
they're
correct?
missing,
A like
Did Cal
vacant
steal
spot on the shelf.
Yeah.
Did Cal steal them?
That's not that interesting to steal. It's not shiny, I don't want it.
But they are glowing
They are
books.
pretty shiny.
Okay, yeah, you got me there.
then if that's the case, then even if we were to jump into that teleporter, there's no telling that it would work or even send us where we need to go until we find this.
Well, we could always test it. Who wants to stand on the teleporter?
Don't recommend separating again. That did not go well last time.
Right. Anyway, so Mish is actually gonna take like a quick perusal around each shelf and see like if one book has like one shelf has one glowing book too many, or are they all glowing?
All the books on these shelves are glowing. They seem to be illuminated the same way. Every bookcase is missing at least one tome, and none of them seem to have extras.
So I guess we skipped a few steps.
Is there anyone?
Perhaps down in the floor below? There are plenty
there-
of books down there.
There may be more scattered throughout the building, so. And hang on. Wait,
You hang on.
Midi.
Hmm?
You said the castle or this tower talked to you, right?
I mean, it talked to all of us.
You can talk to anyone.
I mean, then could you put an inquiry on the missing books in here or missing tomes?
Okay. Yeah, hey, building. You know anything about these missing books in this the lunarium?
Scanning. Querying system. Materials taken from lunarium detected within the observatory.
Am I the only one who can hear it?
Hey,
Uh,
building.
It spoke to everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, building. Where does the teleporter in the middle of the room go? Lead to?
Arcane Gate maintains tethered connection between lunarium and observatory.
All right. So let's go.
Well, I think the issue is then we've got 6 seconds to get on it.
But is there any way to get back?
Well, that's a future issue. Let's take care of one thing at a time. So,
Alright, so who's the
Who
fastest
is-
among us?
Yes,
Who's
that's the question.
slowest among us?
So the slowest should go first.
Mitty.
well, I'm actually pretty quick on my feet.
I'm
We don't need
probably
to-
one of the slower ones here.
Alright, so you were standing right here?
Yes.
Alright. So everyone assume your positions.
Freezing?
Assume
How
we
is that phrasing? That's like the same thing as stage directing. Assume your position. And one at a time. Actually, so
Cal, you might
out
want
of
to get
character,
What?
questions. What's your movement speeds?
40.
40.
30.
Really? You're faster than me?
Me? Yeah, I'm a barbarian, dude.
Yeah, barbarians do get a speed bump.
Where do we
And
check that?
You're,
so
you're
open up your
30.
character sheet. You'll see a box that says speed.
Oh, 30.
Yeah, but you can
Okay.
dash as a bonus action.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
So, who was... Mish was the slow one?
Mish is a
I
slow
also have
one.
30. I also have 30.
So, do you think 2 people can get on the teleporter and I can take
Well,
a
the
Yeah,
spot?
idea
two people.
is to get
Yeah,
onto the
two
top.
people can get on, so you can get on with Vinali, and then I'll run in next, followed by the other two. Or no,
I will get on the platform. The rest of you just get on the buttons.
Bit of overcomplicating things here. You
Yeah.
guys reactivate the sequence. The teleporter activates. The 2 that are on the platform are instantly whisked away. The rest of you try and follow very quickly after, knowing that it takes at least 3 people to solve this mechanism.
We haul out.
You don't mean I couldn't power stance on 2 of the spots?
No one tried.
T-pose to assert dominance over the building.
I wonder
T-pose.
if Mitty could lay across all 3 of them.
Yeah, but then you have to take time to stand up and then run.
True.
Maybe you could pile books on them. There's a lot in here.
Next, we'll go to the observatory. Does anyone need a quick break? I know I'm a little over time, but
I need to grab some water. I'll be right back.
okay, we'll take a quick 5-minute then.
It'd be break time.